we've not heard anything as regards to. Some people want to paint a picture that Noop is disintegrating, Noop is on and off. They don't understand the power, the corridors of power.
You were the people who have been advocating for social media and other things. A leader in national unity platform to come out and say, most of your supporters are on social media making noise, accusing leaders.
As to say that yes, we may not be ready for power, maybe we need more training, maybe we need more time, but he is also looking at people who are trying to sabotage what him as a discipline.
Why there is negotiation between Noop and NRM as far as the release of Honorable Ssegirinya and Pamati. So, sir. That's where you're going to. That's where you're going to.
Okay.
Kwatanse.
Yes.
You're welcome once again.
Thank you so much. Now,
no ponchos.
I first begin with you see you are trying to move around the statements Honorable Matthias Mpuga made, and you are not bringing them clear. Now let me bring the statements clear to the listeners. Here is Matthias Mpuga. Some people like Bob Wine, Zake, Senyonyi, numbers need to be led, and they have to accept to be led. Not everyone can be a leader.
No, that is not true.
Then
that statement, I can tell you that because I am here to protect the image of Noop, to defend my party.
Please,
that is not his.
First thing
I can tell you that numbers.
Giving examples.
No, don't mention names. Yes, he said it, but he didn't mention names.
We are going continued and said, Noop youth should stop thinking that using force, for example, threatening stones at the president's vehicle and engaging in violence is going to help them. That is Honorable Matthias Mpuga. Now, when you look at his statements are very clear. And when you look at the Noop ideology, now let me teach these people of Noop their ideology. Their ideology was progressivism for constitutionalization. Now, Matthias Mpuga is looking at NRM promoting constitutionalism. And indeed, it is doing it. Because when you are a criminal, they arrest you. You are tested in the courts of law. At the right time, when the competent court sees it is now right for you to be given a bail, you are given a bail. So and therefore, as a member of a national inter-platform, at the same time, a person who understands the law, by the way, is right to say that Noop people should go through. NRM is really promoting the ideology of Noop. Therefore, in national interests or people's rights, when you are a threat, you don't need to first be tried.
How do you become a threat? How do they know that you are a threat? They know that you are a threat by investigating. Is that the preventative arrest or detention?
Yes. Even if it is me now, I am detected to be a terrorist. I don't need to be first taken to court and what. Immediately I must be arrested. And I think that's what exactly happened to the Honorable.
Let us drive to that. Exactly what you are supposed to be discussing this morning.
Oh, okay.
Was there a negotiation between NRM and Noop to release these people, as it is insinuated across?
Thank
Did you
you.
negotiate with NUP?
The independent judiciary that has found it necessary now to give these two honorables bail. I don't. You have not seen the NRM spokesperson appearing anywhere in the process of releasing these people. You have been trying these people since they were arrested. Now, after 17 months, the courts of law find it necessary to give them bail. And when you look at their bail, it has been conditioned. I think you have tried to read through it. They have to always appear, and if they fail,
These are the same courts that tried Kyagulanyi and 27 others, including Gerard Karuhanga, Muiru in Arua. And where did that case go? The one they were trying Kyagulanyi in Arua, the case of Arua, where he was charged with treason and other charges. Have you ever seen him and other 27 Jemadadas going back in court? What happened to the case? If we say that there is negotiation, would you really deny?
now with the negotiation, I don't believe in the negotiation. What I know is it is the judiciary.
What you are trying to show or to tell the public that there was no negotiation.
maybe
Yes,
And
it is the independent court, the independent body of government, the case of Honorable Ssewanyana and Ssegirinya.
So you are honorably saying that our institutions like judiciary is independent.
It's very true.
Thank you so much.
I would want to inform him that previously, I think on 2 occasions, been released, have been given bail and arrested at the gates of court. So he should tell us what special.
No,
thing
actually,
has
you
happened.
continue.
Yes.
I want to start from there.
Of course, I was trying to
you're
let
giving
him know.
information, we
I
just-
was trying to tell issues of human rights abuse. You have seen how many prisoners have been in prison. Actually, I want to talk about prisoners' rights.
No, I mean, actually,
How-
before
yes.
you dive there, the pressure you're talking about, you created as NUP and members of the NUP and members of the public. There are some people who are arrested even in campaigns that were arrested in Karangara who are still in prison now. Actually, in I'm a barracks.
Yes.
I'm in prison.
Yes.
Why is it that there's no pressure for those
And
people?
no,
There's pressure for these members of parliament.
that pressure is there. The demand is there.
Why are they not out?
They will get out one day. Like we have seen the day come for Alan Ssewanyana and Muhammad Ssegirinya.
Still have hope.
Also, these young boys like the Sanyas who were saying, you saw how Sanya was demonstrating in the court martial. We have come out, even there is a note and take some pictures. You saw one picture where Alan Ssewanyana was in a wheelchair. Like real life is at the end of it. And you wonder, what kind of treatment have these gentlemen been going through while in prison, and for what purpose, for what objective? So I want to call out the government of President Museveni that the creation of fear in the public over politics should come to an end. Let us know that politics is just a competition. We come, we compete. It's just a season. After that, we go back to developing our country. Whoever becomes a leader takes on this country, and then we can continue to progress democratically as a nation.
Thank you so much, Mpaka. This is the big seat. I have Musa Tuwatanise, I have Peter Papa, and I have Honorable Bright Muhumza. Muhumza,
Yes, sir.
nope, you joined Nope when I was here. We ask you, was there any negotiation between Nope and the NRM government to release these members of parliament? If not, what do we learn?
I want to say that, politics is a data game. Because for the fact, I want to say that our president, His Excellency Kyagulanyi Robert Sentamu, clearly stated that he has also heard that there were negotiations. He clearly said that he was not a party to those what?
Negotiations.
But he said that he's aware that some negotiations took place. Now, those negotiations should be differentiated from the party position.
To individual.
Because there was no a party resolution to allow negotiations to take place. So if anybody negotiated with government, because we are not sure now yet, according to yes, and he never sanctioned those negotiations. Therefore, if those negotiations took place, they took place at an individual level. Now we are analyzing and saying,
So
was it right?
so to
Was
say
it
that
right for
the
was it right for those individuals to negotiate their way out, their freedom? We are saying that in politics, normally there is what we call compromise, and that shortage has not started with NUP. It has not started with NRM. I can tell you that according to Uganda's political history, because now we are discussing Uganda, we can give you examples from other countries.
Yes.
But I can say that negotiations started, those compromises started in 1964. You remember there was a leader of opposition then called Basil Bataringai, who negotiated with the government. That time it was UPC in power. He negotiated with the government and he defected from DP to UPC. He negotiated with Norbert Mao. How he negotiated with Jim McKenna, the UPC people. How he negotiated with Betty Kanya. How he has been
was this negotiation
fetching.
best in your interest, or you are condemning them?
Personally, I want to conclude by that. By the way, I am only analyzing. Museveni, who negotiated with Paulo Kawanga Ssemugerere in 1986, and he appointed his former political problem
For the good of the country.
For you may think it is for the good of the country, but it is for the good of his political survival. Because President Museveni knows that politically he is very, very weak. So he now attaches himself to strong politicians to capitalize on their political capital so that he remains politically relevant.
Then that's what makes him strong.
I can tell you, it is not a role of NRM to stop us. To stop us from negotiating. Because if internally, I can tell you that opposition itself has some cracks here and there, and the challenges in in are stage managed, are created, are put to them by the establishment.
Sure.
Most politicians are intimidated, they are threatened, they are denied access to job opportunities, access employment when you are opposing government. I can tell you, you cannot even access it with economics. You see, I am your political opponent, but I went to school and studied medicine. I'm giving an example. I am a competent doctor. I can go to a hospital.
Neither do we know those working in hospitals and other facilities, whether they are supporting NRM or opposition. We don't know.
But you see, it is because you don't know. If any of them came out to say, I am now FDC opener, they would chase him for no crimes committed for 2 years.
Releasing them.
Not only.
The cases.
These people were arrested. They have been in jail for no crimes committed. Me. For you will prove that they committed crime.
In Karangara.
In Karangara. Some of them are still rotting in jail. Others are being tried in court martial. Now, if anybody came to them and said, we are releasing you on conditions A, B, C, D. First of all, what do you mean by negotiations? Because anybody who is in government,
let me quote some Uganda Abed Bwanika. Intrigue may be there, but me what I want to promote is that there is work going on, and therefore there must be friction. In every action, there is an equal but opposite reaction.
All the intrigues, all the what the NUP is facing, I must say that it is all about, and it is brought about by the ideology NUP has and the ideology NRM has. When you look at the ideology of NUP, as I've said, it is progressivism for constitutionalization. And now their ideology, when it was coming as NUP, it thought it had the ideology that would really touch the Ugandans, and it is the ideology NRM has failed to implement. But coming on board for now 2 years, they have realized that what they were aiming to promote is what NRM has been promoting for the 36 years. And I must say this. Please, I have allowed you speak. Allow me speak.
it depends on what you talking about.
I'll give you
I talked about
You're right. You get some
independence of the government bodies. For example, the judiciary, the legislature, and the executive. And I have said that the honorables have been released because the competent court has been trying them. and even now they are still having case, though they have been released on bail.
And Peter, and all Ugandans know that these people have been given bail before and arrested again. Does that really mean that judicial is independent institutions?
No, I am
not even Honorable Ssewanyana.
Let me guide you using the constitution. When you read the constitution of Uganda, chapter 8, that talks about the judiciary, article 128, that talks about the independence of the judiciary.
Do you understand
Clause
what you're
3.
reading?
All organs and agencies of the state shall accord the courts assistance as may be required. As may be required for judicial function. So, if the executive comes in...
Now we are speaking like you're from Mars. Are you aware that people have been given bail and rearrested?
No, if the executive...
No, do you know that you confirm that I know people have been arrested?
Please, Mr. Koikoi and our dear listeners, I don't want us to cause confusion to the people who are listening to us.
Because they also know.
If the arm is there, let it guide the judiciary. If the legislature is there, let it guide the judiciary. The independence of the arm of government does not mean the arm of the government to operate alone. It must operate in line.
We have been seen chief justices and other leaders in judiciary saying this is too much. We should have independence of these institutions. So for you, what you say?
The constitution is guiding us because I believe we are following the constitution, and the constitution is guiding us.
We have constitutions, we have penal court acts and others.
Exactly. Now, when they are guiding us and they are telling us that yes, the judiciary might
to the
human rights,
by guiding the judiciary.
Because the honorables have their rights, but the rights are limited under Chapter 4, Article 43. So, if the rights are limited and they are becoming threats to the humans who are outside there,
and it is. He should be arrested and tried in court in 48 hours. How many are they for years and months?
And now,
being tried.
Here comes in the executive and legislature to assist the judiciary so that...
If someone says they are not independent, is he right or wrong?
But the court, the constitution has guided us.
It means past 9 o'clock. We are still moving on up to 11 a.m. This is the big seat. I have Musa Tupatanise from Mianyare, and I have Honorable Mhumza Bright.
I think he's a criminal.
He's
the way he puts on was t-shirts.
He can be a criminal. I have Honorable Mhumza Bright, and he's a coordinator group in Ankwe region. Also have Peter Mpaka. He's also a Noop diehard, and we are dissecting some important issue here as far as judiciary is concerned, and the release of Muhammad Ssegirinya and Honorable Alan Ssewanyana. We are looking at how they were negotiation, and Musa is saying there is independence of institutions. That's why these guys.
Yeah, what I want to say is that nobody should come on radio and tell us that because they have been in opposition, they have not negotiated with government. You see, negotiating with government is relative. It is the big thing because you are in opposition, but your land has been. People have trespassed on your land. Where do you go for remedy? You must appear before the RDC. Now, if you appear before the RDC, your issues of land, they will say this man is negotiating with who? With RDC. This man is negotiating with government, and that is true. But you see here, we are saying, are your negotiations in the interest of the public, or they are selfish?
The party.
Yes. Or you are negotiating selfish. You are negotiating selfishly. Now, here we are saying that because these young men, have been in custody for no crimes committed for close to years, for whatever reasons of their negotiations, here and abroad, to say we want our people from. So it is true that we badly wanted these people out of what? out of prison.
Why has it took long for you people to negotiate for these people? If you,
No, I can repeat it. You have said it, let me repeat it and say that as NUP, we have not negotiated with government. As NUP, we only have heard that's in impeach. You have heard those rumors, and I want telling you just to watch the space. President Museveni knows.
ADF have also caused mayhem.
President Museveni, he said he's a master of violence.
You have seen them blowing themselves.
President Museveni has said it many times that he is a master of violence. Has he not said it?
So isn't that enough evidence to justify President Museveni's position of ADF? They have blown themselves at CPS killing people. They have blown themselves in buses. They have blown themselves in tax parks.
I read a book written by Chargonsa Batayo. I read a book written by Picos Kutesa. Those generals of President Museveni confessed that they were the ones training people how to make rocket bombs. That they are the ones who were planning, who were banning city suburbs in Kampala.
No.
And there is a group that is wishing well this party, and there is another
Fake charges on you.
that moved the whole country, campaigning, and basically entering in a hotel to hold a meeting in a hotel is arrested, is stopped. That's what they are trying to show you, that where is fairness
Now, MK,
in the process of
now
democracy.
if you bring such,
Process of democracy.
now I tell you that MK is
an army officer.
is a serving general,
officer
a serving
who is
general.
involved in politics.
Exactly, is
Which
a
is
serving.
against the law
No, a serving
Uganda
general,
and the UPDF Penal Act.
a serving general who is allowed by the law of Uganda under
Do
chapter
what?
12, article 207, that he, as a serving general, he must participate in productive work of this country. Engage people in productive. It is constitutional. Read there, chapter 12, article 207, that he must engage people in productive work. So, as a serving
And
general,
it's the same constitution that says someone who is in uniform
it
should not involve himself in politics.
can.
And this is the gentleman who goes broad daylight on Twitter and other spaces saying, I will be the president of this country. I'm going to capture Kenya in 17 days. And then you call that constitutional?
It is very, because I
Would really agree that there is children and some other children within this country.
what I must say is that when you have the
If
power,
someone said the institutions are not working, is he right or wrong?
institutions are working, but operate peacefully, and you see whether they will hinder you. But the challenge is
Holding a meeting in a
the
hotel.
challenge is that some of us read the constitution and pick on what favors us. I want to say that we have the rights, we have the freedoms to do all other things we need to do. But the very constitution says, in the enjoyment of your rights and freedoms, when you read chapter 4, article 43, that in the enjoyment of your rights and freedoms, you are not allowed to disturb other people's rights or state interest. So if these people of NUP have a peaceful meeting, it is okay. But if you put on red tops and start disrupting people's businesses, and you say the state is there, state that is supposed to protect people and their businesses, that is supposed to protect people and their lives, then for you start sabotaging, stopping cars from moving, then you say when the police comes in and tear gases you say the state is operating contrary. But for you, as you are not looking at the people who have rights to operate businesses, who have rights to have lives.
What we are saying, as we speak now, you're putting on a cap. Mohosi project securing your what?
My future.
Your tomorrow.
Yes.
You are an NRA diehard.
Yes.
2 years ago, you were looking for votes in Shema for President Museveni. And now you are saying, President Museveni, this is enough. We are tired of you. That's what you're trying to insinuate. We are saying, even you right now, you're breaking the law. Right now, you're breaking the law according to the Constitution, according to what you're reading to us. Now we are saying, you yourself, you're saying institutions are working with Uganda. And we are saying right now, you yourself, you're breaking the law. And you're moving freely from here to Shema and other places. No one is asking you, what is that? What are you doing? So if if Parker Peter and Bright says that there is no fairness as far as institutions are concerned in this country, would you really still deny?
Likewise, I've come putting on this cap of Team Chairman MK project. My comrade here Mpaka is putting on
Noob t-shirt.
And nobody has even pinpointed at
This is a
him.
political party
Two,
recognized by
Two.
Constitution of Uganda.
Two.
But for you, what you're doing is wrong.
this
It's against the Constitution.
this step would be wrong if there was vote General Mhozi for presidency 2026.
securing
But
more
saying
is
team chairman MK project, really we are in a project of promoting the talents and sports, empowering our youth. Then at the right time, when the youth are empowered,
when your leader is saying I'm being president of this country,
and
in
of
uniform.
course, after all that, at the right time, people will even front him and say, according to what the good general has done, he should be our president. And indeed,
we
he
are
will
going
be.
to a
I
commercial
can
break.
assure you it will end in tears. I can just assure Musa it will end in tears.
We are going to a commercial break. When we return, we shall be receiving the calls on 0752-912-912 and 0780-912-910. Just talk to us and tell us you've had this gentleman in the studio. I have Brett Mhumza, and Brett Mhumza is the coordinator of National Tech Platform Onup in Ankole sub-region. I have Peter Parker, is a diehard, is a honcho in National Tech Platform. I have Musa Tukwatanise, is from NRM and also subscribes to Mohozi Project. The court did show justice to the brother Ssewanyana Ssegirinya, and Absham is saying, and I even wonder the kind of opposition these brides are. I thought they felt sympathy, they would feel sympathy over their brothers that were imprisoned. If an exerted effort for them to get out and they are out, then why feel bad on that? I think those who never wanted Mpuga to try his best to let the brothers out, a worse voice of opposition is called Kada in Shema. And I have some few other messages. One says I am tuned in here in Devo. I like the Honorable Bright's submission, and it's called Arthur. And then I have also Talent, who says thanks for the program and good morning. On 0752-912-912 and 0780-912-910. Talk to us. Hello. 07. Hello. Hello. No. Hello. Yes, how are you? Where you come from? Mugumiadida from Uganda.
Yes.
Talk to us.
So, non perché bakozere. Bakozere che tu non la posso agire la camera in diretta cavallo porra ancora.
Okay, thank you so much. He's saying it was a good idea. It's a good cause for this gentleman to go and negotiate for MPs with 0752-912-912, 0780-912-910. Talk to us. We are discussing the release of Muhammad Ssegirinya and the Honorable Alan Ssewanyana, who have been incarcerated for 17 and some days. Hello. Hello, yes. To the radio Irota. Kamani Richard from Uganda.
According to me, Ssewanyana na Ssegirinya. Biro bakomeye bolo mu antirenti ngo biro babacweri iro mukarama kate. Mweno bugire yo babari pakungatse tarme yo kugira ngo mama kazowa wa president yo bigirebo manava mbaponi ngatuni days za kubarekura kabyo biro babacweri.
Thank you so much. The gentleman from Uganda is saying, they served their sentence. Yes, postponing the case of serving their sentence, so they are free. No more hassle. Hello.
Hello, Crooze FM.
Crooze FM, how are you? Where are you coming from?
Not going from
From where?
Nyachenyi Rukunjiri.
Nyachenyi Rukunjiri, most welcome.
Yeah, I think that the opposition has been in conversation with the government is very well exposed. That is even the conditions were very hard for those people. And big up to break.
It's 10 a.m. Your local time check.
Thank you so much, gentleman from Yachenyi. That is in Rukunji. Okay. Hello,
Hello, Crooze FM.
Crooze FM. How are you?
I'm okay.
Your name and where you coming from?
This is Amanya Kutesa from Murvindi Kashari.
Amanya Kutesa from Rwindi.
My opinion is the idea of Noop and
Kashari. I don't know what's happening to Rwindi. But 0752 912 912 and 0780 912 910. You can talk to us. Hello. Hello, good morning. In Chegegwa. Talk to us.
That they can keep leading people as they are trying your body.
Thank you so much, Chegegwa people. We love you so much and thank you so much for listening in. This is the big sit. What I want to assure you or to confirm to you that the charges were not dropped. These guys will continue being tried in courts of law as far as their cases are concerned. Hello. Crooze FM, good morning.
Good morning. This is Victor and Teresa, one of the best cruisers in Rwindi.
In Rwindi, yes, you're welcome.
Yes, I think what they did was to reach those people because their families were missing them. Okay, thank you, sir.
The families were missing them. We are still here in the big set. I have Mpaka, Peter. I have also Musa Twatanise. I have Bright Mhumza. And we are dissecting some issues in this country, how we can really run this country the better way. Or as we are in democratic country, are we living are we pretending to have democracy? Is it a pretense or it is real democracy? Or our institutions independent, judiciary, the legislature and the executive? That's what we are trying to give an answer. Hello?
No, sir,
Yes, how are you, sir?
I'm good.
Your name and where you come from?
This is just from Rantua.
From Runtua.
You know what I'm begging my family?
Mm.
They should go up, stop going in politics. And when they feel like he doesn't fuck us, who are now doctors, and can now intervene in the politics. And another thing, what I'm saying, there is no one who can let his family, okay, let's say like a father, something how his family to corrupt. When he's saying that one of his children, one family to corrupt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Greetings to Rentua people in Bushenyi. This gentleman is saying, youth, you should put your minds on productive things. Leave politics until the time comes. But now, it's time for working. That's what he's saying. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, how are you?
This is just from Rwindi.
Yes, Ruindi.
My opinion is, for me, I want to look to be in power, not the NRM, because we are not gaining anything from it.
You are not getting anything from NRM?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, people in Ruindi. You have given us company today morning, and thank you so much for being one of our ardent listeners of the Big City. On 0752 912 912 and 0780 912 910. I'm only receiving only 2 calls as we go back in studio and we wind up the show of today, the 18th of February 2023. We are talking about, there's a lot of issues that happened in Uganda this week. but we shall give you the recap as we come to the climax of the show. But let me receive 2 calls. Hello? Crooze FM, how are you? I'm fine. I'm talking to who? From Tunga Wainaman. Your take? Okay. So he's talking about education. The other things. He's a senior 6 Marxist. I think he doesn't see any progress. Hello? Yes, how is that? I'm talking to who?
You're talking with Matthew 256. I'm calling in from Rushere in Chirubula district.
Rushere in Chirubula district. Good morning.
Thank you for the show.
Okay.
Okay, to other people in the Crooze. I think Alan Ssewanyana. Na mtayiwe y'umuhamati. Kweli banza kukusinga omushango. Government leija kuhakita kweli. Inga nabona bazakisa.
Okay. The gentleman is asking if they win the case. Honorable Ssewanyana and Honorable Ssegirinya, if they win the case with the suffering, with the temples filled on woman, is there any compensation? Some people in the studio will answer you, but what I know is that they can even, if they win the case, they can even open a case against government and Attorney General and see how to go about that issue, whether to compensate them or to leave it at that. 0752-912-912 and 0780-912-910. I'm only receiving one call. We go back to the studio as we come to the climax of the show. I've told you we are discussing the release of Ssegirinya. Ssegirinya was and Alan were given bail. Was it Friday? Friday. But up to now, we have not seen these people in public. We don't know how they came out of prison. I saw Honorable Lord Mayor going there. I saw the ambulance of Ssegirinya going there. So we are not sure where these guys are. We don't know their whereabouts as we speak right now. But what we are sure of, they are out of jail from Chigol prison. These people were accused of masterminding and abetting the killing of people in Masaka. That Vijambia time where almost 70 people died and they were arrested. Government is accusing them of being the mastermind of those plots that made Uganda and Rakai area lose very many people in Vijambia. And they have been on remand for the last 17 months and some days. And there are rumors that one of the new people is confirming that it is a hearsay, and one is saying it has never been there, the negotiation of releasing these people. These people, rumors are saying, no leader negotiated with government to release these people. And Nupa are saying there was no any kind or any form of negotiation with government. And the NRM guy is saying the law took its course, and after a certain period, they have decided to release these people. Minipaka.
Yes.
I mean Paka. I don't know why I like calling him Minipaka, because he's my friend. You're also my friend. So
yes. Yes.
You have had the calls.
Yes.
People are saying it was good. To actually, it was in your interest for these people to be released.
And exactly, really, from what we have been discussing and what we have submitted, I said personally, and even Bright said so, that it is important that these guys get out of prison, even for the picture of government. And we're also saying that there are other unheard of young men. How we wish that whoever negotiated for their release can also negotiate for the release of these other political prisoners. So I agree with the callers, and I really want to thank you, everybody who has called, and say thank you for that observation. But I also want to state it clearly, please, and get me clearly, that our current political position as NUP is that we don't negotiate with the dictator. We are removing the dictator.
The dictator who agrees to negotiate with you
Now,
to release your comrades. A dictator who is allowing you to wear the t-shirts and move in town. The dictator who allows you to sit on with him on the table. I think he's a good dictator.
but Sakoiko, you rightly said it, that the son of the dictator is moving everywhere, mobilizing, but we cannot be allowed to go for a prayer meeting in Zambia or a conference in Hotel Africana or anywhere. So there will be those wins they will give you. They will give you some small wins so that you feel sweet. They will give you something that looks like democracy so that you feel sweet. But when it comes to the core issues, like the one that we are discussing, an issue of national importance, 2 constituencies in Uganda have gone for 17 months and some days without representation. And the MPs have come out in a dilapidated shape, totally sick. They cannot, some cannot even stand to support by themselves. We only wonder what were they fed on, what were they injected with, what kind of inhuman treatment they received while they were in prison. So for us, we are saying our position is that we are removing the dictator, and we are doing all that we think can work to see that Ugandans come to understand that the leadership of President Museveni is not as good as we say it is. We may say, oh, so and so is putting on a t-shirt, Impaka Peter is putting on a red t-shirt, moving in town, but that does not mean that you have school fees for your children. That does not mean that the tax burden has been removed. That does not mean that the corruption we are seeing, now we are talking about even things like torture, like abductions, disappearances of people without trial, and so many other serious issues that are eating us
Let
up.
us use these 8 minutes to dive into the human rights.
Yes.
Let's say enough is enough. United Nations Human Commission to leave the country. And Ugandans are looking at this as also another way of how Uganda want to squeeze the opposition and the other entities or other individuals. To you as a Ugandan, let us leave the political parties. Is Uganda government or Uganda ready to manage their human rights? Like we have the Uganda Human Rights Commission. Is it really ready to take charge? We still need help from these guys, the United Nations, to help us as far as human rights is concerned, or it was okay for government to let these people go as we take charge?
As long as President Museveni is around, and as long as you belong to the opposition, you will not fully be free in this country. But the likes of Musa Tukwatanise and his general MK are free to move around and do everything they want. It's them who have the human rights. Bobe bali mu Kintu. Naye the other Ugandans are outside of the so-called Kintu. So we in United Nations Human Rights offices or committee in Uganda, we had an independent observer. That's how I can call it. We had somebody who was standing out of the whole game. He's not government, he's not opposition, he's not Ugandan, but he can stand out and observe and say, and neutrally and say that I think this is not right, this is not right, this is not right. So for government, the government taking this position, it came as a result of human rights having issued out one of the latest reports, in which they were talking about these abductions, torture, the drones, and all these kind of things. So government said, so decided to say,
you're running so fast.
Let's put a padlock on you. And it paints also a wrong picture, by the way, because at the end of the day, you know, this is United Nations. You have other bodies of the United Nations in the country. You have the Refugees Nation, department. You have the UN office here in Entebbe, actually, the one they wanted to take to Nairobi, and the president fought so hard to see that it stays in the country. You have the UN food program in Uganda. So when you're chasing out one department, are you willing also to chase away the others? Are you willing to unrectify the covenants you have with the UN, because Uganda still belongs to the United Nations? So I think it's driving us to a picture of being isolated internationally, painting a wrong picture. And I think also on the other side, we are moving into a more serious dictatorship. Because when you look at somebody trying to curtail the democratic rights, human rights of people, it means that you're now trying to use an iron hand against the citizenry.
Thank you so much, Mr. Peter. Musa,
Yes.
you have had calls.
Thank you so much. I first want to correct my colleague here that the human rights.
You will make a comment there as we conclude, but
Yes.
let us first respond to this call as we conclude our topic.
First of all, I want to thank our dear listeners.
And they are saying negotiations are okay.
And actually, they don't diverge from my view. However, as I have said, there is one caller who has put it.
From you say
There is a caller who has put it clear. Competent court has actually there were two. The competent court has been trying these people, and I think it is now the time to give them bail. And he's very right, as like I put it. So with the negotiations, I still say I cannot look at the negotiations first before I look at the court that has been with these people, because a person being in prison and being tried by court, it is the court that is putting him on in prison. So I must say that the court has done its work to make sure these people are tried. And even I want to correct our listeners who have said that they have been released. They should note that releasing someone on bail does not mean that the charges have been scrapped off.
Does not
They
exonerate
have the charges and they will still present themselves to courts of law as investigations continue. But now they have just been given bail to be out as they come to court to report. And when you hear any rearrest, don't say that the government is bad, because if they tell you report on this date and you don't, then you will invite the government to take any action.
we have seen people being tortured, people being abducted. Security forces come out to confirm that we abducted these people. They come out when they are limping, others cannot talk, others are sick, and other forms of torture. They are here in the country. Uganda government said, United Nations says, Human Rights Commission, enough is enough. We can take on this charge. We can take this on. We have seen Uganda Human Rights Commission inviting people to go file complaints. People have filed complaints. Even others have never been paid their compensations. Even other agencies, other individuals have deliberately refused to pay these people their money. Who were tortured, government has refused to pay these people their money. Regardless of Uganda Human Rights Commission says, please compensate these people with court orders and other things. Uganda government is saying, United Nations, the independent body was overseeing the human rights in the country. Enough is enough, you go home. What does that leave Uganda, who signs to international charter, United Nations charter and other things as a country?
Thank you. I want to say that the United Nations, the United Nations operating in Uganda does what Uganda presents to them. Actually, I must say, let nobody, let anyone, that the United Nations will come here to Uganda, here in Uganda, and control Uganda, minus Ugandans and the Ugandan leadership submitting to the United Nations.
But
that's why.
But Uganda also signs to international charter.
Yes, it signs to the international charter
on human rights.
That's why
that means that Uganda as a country, Uganda as a government agrees that human rights should be observed.
Uganda, actually, when you look at the reports, there are several reports because opposition presents its reports of torture, alleged torture, and all other things, and also the government writes reports. And for quite a long time, we have already seen
and
wherever
torture is not rocket science. It is physical.
Wherever opposition writes to the UN, also the government takes an initiative to respond to the letters, and in response to the letters, government always gives its position that the human rights, you have your rights, but you are not meant to violate other people's rights. You have your right. As I said it before, you will not tell international body will now come in to control the leadership.
You are nowhere to be seen for 2 weeks. You come out limping with flat iron bands, with you tortured completely.
Yes, you saw our gentleman last.
You
just this
come
week.
here and say we have human rights in Uganda and we can take charge.
Now, I want to say that these people here, they said that government can use a statecraft. Statecraft here in this case is create a problem, solve it. Now, how sure are you? Actually, that's what the government has. It has owned some abductions, but some abductions they don't have any hint on them, and even they are asking, how sure are you that opposition can't abduct its own people?
Are these drones there for government? Are these drones for government?
Now, what I want.
Are people abducting people?
You see, I always like informed to talk from informed point of view. I want you to say, we quoted a drone number this.
They are numberless.
Or with
Most of them are numberless.
HD, UPDF, or UG,
most of them are
or
numberless.
number this, or working for this ministry. And you quote the number.
Now you're
Then
talking from.
You have already said that the government has owned some abductions and tortures. You yourself.
of course, in some competent court where they have been tried and even government supposed to compensate. We have seen such cases, and they are there. But I must say that under statecraft, NUP can also abduct its members, cause a problem, then gain sympathy from the donors.
Kakwenza, who is in exile, was tortured.
To be violated. But at the same time, Kakwenza was violating other people's rights. So in the enjoyment of his rights,
Like your MK is violating other people's rights and is moving.
no, promoting productive work at the Ugandans is not
I want to
violating
quote,
people's
I
rights.
want to quote something. You see, during the NRA
As you
war,
also come to the-
during the NRA war, President Museveni and his colleagues sieged Masaka and surrounded it, the barracks of Masaka, and actually even in Barara, this Makenke. They surrounded it for 1.5 months. The soldiers inside the barracks ate all the food they had and got finished. They were not getting supplies from Kampala or from anywhere because the barracks were surrounded. And they were well equipped. Why is it that the president today does not use the same tactics he used then when he was a guerrilla fighter? Today he unleashes power. He unleashes brutal force on Ugandans, like what we saw in Kasese, like what we are seeing on NUP supporters, banning people, torturing them to that extent, like the question of the Kakwenza you're asking about, yet for them they are free to move around. So for me, I still call out to the leadership of this country that these citizens that you're harassing are not enemies.
As you
They are
conclude.
not armed. They are civil who are looking for a better governance for our country. And we are the voice speaking out for them.
Thank you so much. Musa, as you conclude, we are out of time.
I will conclude by requesting my fellow Ugandans, especially the young people, to avoid being misled. That is, any person trying to show you how you have your rights, but you use your rights to disrupt other people's rights, I can assure you, even if it is me, that I am pro-MK, and I now start disrupting people's rights here in Barara,
we have a small
anywhere else,
dictator in studio.
I will always be arrested. I will always face law. So the law does not only apply to opposition, it is decided. So what is important here is to know the limits of your powers. Actually, I must teach the young people the limitations of their rights. That's why when they take you to the competent court, that you have been disrupting people's businesses, that you are shouting there, that you remember where you are shouting from. The people you are shouting at have their rights to have peace. So they will, based on the constitution you are saying that gives you rights to arrest you. So the young people should avoid being used. This is now the time to know the rule of law, to understand the constitution. Actually, I'm happy that majority can read. Let us read, interpret these laws so that we are not always victims of the situation, just being used by the forces. We even don't know where they come from and where they are going. After all, at the end of the day, you go on the street and fight. Then at the end of the day, the donors give money to Bob Wine, not to you. Then for you remain suffering. So young people must come on board and embrace change.
Don't donors give President Museveni money and his government?
The government is working with a lot of government programs.
Thank you so much. Greetings to my people in Shuku. We love them so much. Thank you so much for coming. People, we stormed the studio at exactly 9 a.m. 4 minutes to of the hour, and that's 10. We always here. Big seat. I was sitting in for Mr. Manyad. You had a paper today, and he will be here next Saturday with you. And I come in where necessary. I had the Peter Mpaka, I had the Mr. Musa Tuwatanisa, I had Bright Humza, and we are talking about justice in Uganda and the release of Honorable Ssewanyana and Honorable Council was expelled from Uganda. Actually, it was not expelled, but their contract, the argument, and government said we are not renewing. And we are always here every Saturday, 9 to 11 a.m. dissecting issues of national importance only on the big seat. We catch you next. We had Creative Media broadcasting live the show. You can also go to YouTube. You will also find this show there. You can also listen and have what we shared today. I wish you a happy weekend. We meet next Saturday. Have a blessed weekend and safe journey, you gentlemen from Shema, from Busheni.
From Barara.
From Barara?
Yes.
You are not at mobs then?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'm here.
You're best in Barara.
Yeah.
And also, I wish you a safe journey. Catch you next Saturday. Bye-bye.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily views of this radio station or its members. This radio is